Pioneer Corporation. One of the most recognizable companies in the world of electronics. In the last century, this brand was everywhere: hi-fi, TVs, video players, car audio, professional studio equipment, and so on. The history of this Japanese company is connected with the city of Kobe, located near Osaka. In 1905 in Kobe was born Nozomu Matsumoto, the son of a Christian missionary. From childhood, Nozomu was a deeply passionate enthusiast who loved music and technology. Over time, his interest in electronics intensified. He saw it as a tool that could help him and his fellow missionaries in their mission work. In 1936, Nozomu Matsumoto founded Fukuen Shokai Denki Seisokusho in Osaka. A year later, he created his first speaker, the A8, which was named Pioneer because it was Nozomu's first product. Matsumoto came up with the idea for the speaker business after a trip to the USA in 1935, where he saw some interesting musical equipment. The young entrepreneur decided that his country Japan also needed such unusual products. In those years, the first home hi-fi systems like receivers and large music consoles were already appearing in the United States, but this trend was almost non-existent in Japan. In 1938, Matsumoto moved to Tokyo to develop his business. At that time, the company was repairing and tuning loudspeakers and radios, as well as producing its own loudspeakers. The firm was small, but it developed successfully. The A8 Pioneer driver mentioned above was a very impressive unit for the time. The driver was equipped with a paper cone diffuser and an aluminium dome dust cap. A feature of the design was that the dome cap was mechanically separated from the cone and was used to transmit the high frequencies. In this way, the driver practically fulfilled the function of a coaxial driver. On its basis, Matsumoto assembled the company's first full-fledged product, enclosed loudspeaker. As mentioned above, Matsumoto's initial idea was to use his products to spread religious teachings and generally educate the people of Japan. But by the mid-40s, Nozomu had begun to move to another more serious level. In 1946, the company designed its first logo, which combined the Greek letter omega, symbolizing electrical resistance, and a tuning fork. In 1953, the Fukuen Shokai Denki Seisokusho line, which had already become a corporation, introduced the advanced PE8 loudspeaker, and the production of loudspeaker cabinets began. 2 years later, the corporation released its first vinyl record player, the PLA-1, and the HF-10A tube amplifier, while at the same time they began producing televisions and FM tuners. In 1960, the company developed its first full-size headphones, the SE-1, which were the first stereophonic headphones in Japan. "1961 was a year especially important for the company, as the corporation finally changed its name to Pioneer Electronic Corporation. A year later, the manufacturer introduced its first stereo system, the PSC-5A. This product set a new standard in the hi-fi industry. In 1963, the company introduced the TC-501 reel-to-reel tape recorder, and in the United States, the first RPS-501 car radio. In 1964, Pioneer equipment was used in the Olympic Stadium in Tokyo, emphasizing the company's status as an innovator. In 1965, Pioneer released its first transistor amplifier, the SMT-SAT-04, and in 1967 production of stereo 8 cartridge-compatible players was launched. In the early 70s, the company signed an agreement with Dolby Laboratories, incorporating noise cancellation technology into its devices. One of the first such products was the T3300 compact cassette deck. In 1973, Pioneer introduced the RT's 1020L reel-to-reel tape recorder with audiophile quality quiet transistors. In 1977, the exclusive Model 2301 reference horn loudspeaker was released. And in 1978 the company presented a powerful receiver SX1980 with an output power of 270 watts and a weight of 35 kilograms. The model became a hit of its time. At the end of 70s, Pioneer started to work in the field of cable TV equipment, and also began to develop Laserdisc players. And in 80 in the USA, Pioneer demonstrated the first home LD player VP1000, which was an adapted version of the professional model. In 1984, Pioneer's lineup was expanded with an LD player that could already play CD discs. In 1982, Nozomu's son Seiya Matsumoto became president of Pioneer. He came up with a new slogan for the company, "Future of Sound and Vision." In the same year, Pioneer presented the world's first CD player for cars at the CES exhibition in Chicago. In 1986, Carrozzeria, a premium brand curated by Pioneer and focused on car audio, had emerged in Japan. In 1988, the company invented a removable front panel for car stereos. This idea was known to be a revolutionary solution against theft. In the home audio segment, the 80s were a period for Pioneer of separate components for racks and multi-way loudspeakers with powerful bass drivers. The SX6, for example, was a particularly popular model, featuring a 22 cm woofer, 52 mm mid-range and a ribbon tweeter. The exclusive C5 preamplifier with dual mono topology was also released in those years, and became part of the iconic exclusive range. Also in the mid-80s, Pioneer was the first in the world to introduce the PDM6 CD changer, which could hold up to 6 compact discs. The 90s were a time of breakthroughs for Pioneer, which had a significant impact on modern electronics. In 90, the company introduced the world's first GPS car navigation system with maps on discs. The same year saw the introduction of the legendary PDT-07 and PDT-05 CD players, known for their stable platter system to minimize vibration. From the user's point of view, these models were unusual in the sense that the disc was inserted in reverse, with the working surface facing upwards. Closer to the mid-90s, the company launched an innovative line of devices for DJs. First of all, these were specialized CD players. In 1996, Kaneo Ito became the president of Pioneer Electronic Corporation. Under his leadership, the logo was updated and a partial rebranding was carried out. The arrival of the new president also timed with the release of the world's first DVD player, the DVL-9, capable of playing Laserdisc, video CD, and CD. It is important to note that in 1997, Pioneer began pioneering organic light-emitting diode technology, OLED. Although OLED is hardly associated with Pioneer these days, it was this company that created the basis for the new era of displays. In addition to OLED, that same year Pioneer introduced the world's first 50-inch high-resolution plasma panel, the PD-P501HD. The product created a sensation in the video industry and in many ways set the standard for the performance and design of modern flat-panel TVs. As the new millennium began, Pioneer updated its slogan: Sound, Vision, Soul. According to the company's idea, this slogan better reflected the philosophy laid down by the founder of the corporation, Nozomu Matsumoto. In 2001, Pioneer began production of 7.1-channel AV receivers VSA AX10 and AX8, which were equipped with the proprietary digital system for automatic calibration of acoustics depending on the characteristics of the room. In 2002, the company introduced the first DVD recorder with a built-in hard drive, and in 2003 the first CATV tuners for digital cable television supporting high-definition signals were introduced to the US market. At the same time, Pioneer became one of the companies to adopt the Blu-ray standard and 3 years later introduced its first Blu-ray players. Also in 2003, Pioneer released the world's first DVD SAC player with HDMI output, and later introduced the M1 speaker system under the TARD brand, which became a separate division of Pioneer focused on high-end speakers and components. In 2004, Pioneer acquired NEC Plasma Display, becoming the largest plasma panel manufacturer in the world. This allowed the corporation to become a serious competitor for LCD panel manufacturers. In 2006, the company released a 50-inch plasma panel PD-P5000EX with full HD support. In the same year, Tamahiko Sudo became president of Pioneer, but in 2008 he was replaced by Susumu Kotani. The retirement of Kaneo Ito, who had been president of the corporation for almost 10 years, was due to falling sales and growing losses. Kaneo Ito felt that he was personally to be responsible for the failures of his company and could no longer effectively manage Pioneer. Under Susumu Kotani's management, Pioneer entered into an agreement with Mitsubishi Electric to jointly develop car navigation systems and car audio. By 2010, Pioneer decided to exit the plasma TV business, as it was becoming increasingly difficult for the corporation to engage in this line of business. In 2015, the corporation also stopped producing DJ equipment, selling this segment to the Kohlberg Kravis Roberts Investment Fund. Eventually, the Pioneer DJ Company came into existence, but its owner was no longer Pioneer Corporation itself. In addition, the company sold its home AV division. Onkyo became the owner, and this led to the launch of Onkyo and Pioneer Corporation. After these big changes, Pioneer focused on car electronics, including navigation systems, audio, and technology for electric vehicles. In 2018, Koichi Moriya, who served as Pioneer's president, explained that the corporation could no longer remain independent. Even after selling several of its large and important branches, the company was unable to pay off its debts, so Pioneer was forced into a deal with Baring Private Equity Asia, a fund that helped the company partially overcome its financial problems. In fact, bearing private equity Asia became the new majority owner of Pioneer, which abandoned almost all areas, focusing solely on car products. The company has been run by Shiro Yahara since 2020, who believes that car electronics is the most promising business for Pioneer. The production of all home and portable consumer AV equipment under the Pioneer brand is now managed by Vox International and Sharp Corporation. These major players began the process of acquiring Onkyo and Pioneer's home division in 2021, after Onkyo experienced a rapid decline in sales and unstoppable financial difficulties. Thus, today, Pioneer-branded audio and video is controlled by subsidiaries of the aforementioned Vox International and Sharp. By the way, Vox International also owns such notable companies as Klipsch, Jensen, Magnat, and Audio Research. As for Sharp, it should be noted that this company has owned shares of Pioneer Corporation since 2007. To summarize the above, today Pioneer is still a large and quite popular brand, with different divisions owned by various large companies and their subsidiaries. The whole business is quite complicated today, but AV receivers, turntables, professional acoustic systems, and other products are still produced under the famous brand. Pioneer has also retained the TARD brand of premium speakers. Car electronics is the primary focus of Pioneer Corporation these days. That concludes the story of Pioneer. I hope it was interesting. I look forward to your comments and opinions on the past, present, and future of Pioneer. Thank you all for watching. Until the next video.